Hello everybody, we are presenting on ethical marketing and how it builds stronger brands. My name is Tate Wild and I will be talking about ethical marketing and what ethical marketing is versus manipulative marketing. Here on the screen I have two images, two different cartoons. And the first one reads, "This stuff isn't really bad. Okay, it stinks, it looks disgusting and it's sticky, and with water and soap you can clean up as well, but so what?" And the other one is a picture of a guy saying hold now, and he said Wednesday it's $4.99.99, Thursday it's $4.99.99, and when Black Friday hits, suddenly it's $6.99.99, but the price is reduced to $4.99.99. And clearly you can see that one of these is ethical marketing and the other one is manipulative marketing. My personal opinion, it's pretty obvious to tell which is which. And this is a great example of an introduction to what ethical is, what's being ethical is, and what being manipulative is. So everyone knows, it's kind of common sense to know that being ethical is to do what is right and to do what is morally good. And being manipulative is being cunning, underhanded, and dishonest. In this image here, we can see a beggar for money, and you can see that he's putting on a fake sad face or a stressed kind of character. And behind him, he's kind of laughing. You can see that he's really just manipulating the person to give him money. And so this happens with brands, and it happens with all types of companies when they market. And there are tons of examples of ethical marketing and manipulative marketing that we see every single day, and sometimes we don't even notice. A few of them, I am a big golfer, I like to play golf, and every golf ball on the planet claims to be the best golf ball, and it's just simply not true. And so that right there is an example of how everyone is trying to just prove that they're the best, and sometimes they have to lie to do so. I have two examples here that I'm going to talk about. One of them is Manscaped, great brand, and the other one is Tag and Go Car Wash. And Manscaped, I have a personal example of this one, of purchasing a product from Manscaped, and they didn't say anything about a membership or anything about a VIP club. And I just purchased a product and it came in a week and I was super happy about it. No problems. 3 months later, looked at my credit card statement and had a charge of $50 to Manscaped for a VIP club that apparently I was signed up for, but never saw. And so I had to go in and unsubscribe from a VIP club from Manscaped. But this was manipulative because they never marketed it to me that there was a VIP club that everyone was signed up for. And so this is something that brands do in order to get more money and to kind of trick their clients, or I guess their customers. And an ethical way of marketing is Tag and Go Car Wash. And I know every single person who has gone through a car wash has experienced the pulling up and rolling down the window and just saying, "I want the basic car wash." And the person's like, "Well, if you sign up for the monthly rate, you get 4 more car washes, blah, 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 for a cheaper deal." And I go through the car wash probably twice a month, and without fail, they always try and get me to sign up for the membership. But they're doing it in an ethical way. They're trying to promote their product and to promote a membership without lying or hiding or doing any hidden fees or anything that is behind the table. And so these are two great examples of what it is to be manipulative and what it is to be ethical. And coming up next, we have Grady. And he's going to talk about customers and brand damage.
Okay, my name is Grady Bowles, and my part is on customer trust and brand damage. Some companies make misleading claims which always lead to a decrease in their credibility for the company. And this leads to customers feeling deceived, tricked. Then once their trust is lost, it is almost impossible to gain that trust back. And unethical marketing really damages your brand. Negative publicity spreads quick, which is followed up with competitors gaining an edge and the brand becoming associated with dishonesty. And this really affects your brand because a big part of most companies is their word to mouth that goes throughout regular people that buy their stuff. And this is such a huge gainer for every company, and every company needs to be taking advantage of it as much as they can. Some of the consequences of declining loyalty of your customers and brand damage could lead to less of those referrals, financial losses because you're losing your current customers and those referrals, lower customer retention, and many more possible negative effects. This is a graphic I found, and it's the top 3 reasons why businesses proactively manage and invest in customer experience. Addressing each of these reasons can positively impact the bottom line revenue of any company. 42% of it is to improve cross-selling and upselling. 33% is to improve customer retention, and 32% is to improve customer satisfaction. The impact of this is the customer trust and brand loyalty is one of the greatest assets to a business. If they are treated great, the results will be positive for everyone. And I'd like to connect this back to real life experiences. I work at a company called Tax Hive, and we have a monthly meeting every Friday at the start of each month. And every time my boss starts with, our number one asset is our customers. And if we keep them happy, then everything works out. And he just always brings this up because it really affects our business. And as we've been trying to work on that, our business has been functioning great and doing way good revenue wise. And we get so many good reviews. And we always try and focus on the bad reviews mostly. We have people that regularly go through and look for those bad reviews and go personally reach out to them to try and sway them back to having a better view on us, because it doesn't just impact our relationship with them, it impacts all the word to mouth and the credibility of our company. And it also really affects the credibility of our CEO is Kevin O'Leary. And so it's kind of funny, every bad review just kind of dogs on him and really he says that it taints his name and that he should remove his name from the company. But yeah, we really try and keep the customers happy, because then it makes everything function so much well.
Okay, and I am Courtney Stewart, and I will be talking about why we believe that ethical marketing is the solution to all these problems that all these brands and companies are having. Just like Grady was saying, we don't want to taint our name or our company's name, and I will be showing you guys some sure ways to not do so. So up on the screen, we have an advertisement for H&M, okay? I think we all know H&M, we all know that they have fun, trendy clothing, but like, who are you going to be supporting, okay? So between this picture and the next one I'll show you, let's just take a look. Here we have, again, some cute, fun outfits. We have some greenery, right? Green is used for, maybe they're a green company, maybe they recycle, all those types of things. Are you going to support that company? Or would you be supporting Patagonia? Between the two, okay? So Patagonia put this advertisement out in 2011 for their Black Friday promotion. And in it they state, do not buy this jacket. And at first take, you're like, why would I not buy that jacket? Well, Patagonia is super involved in working on eco-friendly products and just sustainability in everything that they do. So they want to limit their waste, and they want to encourage all of their customers and consumers to also do the same and just be eco-friendly and, again, sustainable. So by putting this product out there, this advertisement, they were saying, you know what, don't buy this product unless you need it. And that really stuck with some of the customers and consumers, and Patagonia saw great success from this. And this is a great example about how Patagonia as a company was very transparent and honest by saying, you know what, don't buy this jacket, try to be resourceful, we're gonna, reduce, reuse, and recycle as much as we can. And I really love that about this company. Now, again, what does being ethical mean? Well, I think it definitely means being transparent in everything that you do in the company, having open and honest communication, right? As well as authenticity and being honest. So as you can see here, this is a poll that I actually did with some of my personal circle. I posted this on my Instagram account, And I just asked everybody, which type of brand would you rather support? Now, the first option that they could have selected was a brand that admits ethical mistakes publicly. The second option that they could have chosen was a brand that hides ethical mistakes. As you can see, 96% of people voted that they'd rather have a company admit their faults, and 4% voted that they'd rather have a company that hides their mistakes. Well, wouldn't you like to know, 2 of these people actually messaged me and told me that they have fat thumbs, and they actually meant to click this one. So truthfully, it was actually 98-2, right? And it just goes to show, even my circle of people, they might not be very focused on like eco-friendly things or super in tune with that kind of atmosphere, yet they still would rather support somebody who is honest, right? I think that's just human nature. So I also was doing some research and I found this graph here, and it's talking about consumer loyalty that's driven by ethical marketing. So as you can see, these are our percentages here, and it states that 89% of people are loyal to brands that they share the same values with. Whether that's, again, being eco-friendly, okay, or if that's being honest with the people that they are selling to. And 70% of people here are more loyal to transparent brands, which, again, care about a transparent brand. The second that they hear about it and they're like, oh, maybe that's a thing, then they're gonna be more loyal, right? And 60% of people's trust increases with transparency. Those are great statistics. Now, we're talking about how ethical marketing and ethical businesses are successful and the great way to go. So the question relies on how can you be more ethical, okay? So there's easy things like being honest and transparent, right? You don't want to exaggerate your results in your advertisements or in anything that you put out to the public. There's being fair to all of your employees, making sure everybody is getting the same wage, right? As well as protecting your customer privacy, being honest about how your customers' data is being used and all those sorts of things. You want to be sustainable and eco-friendly, ethical with your supply chains. Definitely want to be involved with your community and have high quality, safe products, as well as working on our DEIs, right? We want to be respectful to diversity and inclusion, and making sure that you're paying your taxes, making sure that you have fair return policies. All those sorts of things are ways that you can be more ethical as a company to help make your brand more successful. Now, coming up next, we have Gregory. Take it away.
Thanks, Courtney. So what we're going to talk about is what the future looks like with the rise of authentic brands. Now that we've seen how ethical marketing actually fixes trust issues, I want to take you into the future for a second. Because the brands that will survive the next decade aren't the loudest ones, they're the ones that feel the most real. So people today can really smell fake marketing immediately. If something feels overly polished or emotionally manipulative, it gets called out instantly. The future isn't about perfection, it's about honesty, relatability, and showing people with real values. So we have an example here. This is like some modeling stuff. The first one's like this really dialed in modeling one, and then the second one's this Dove campaign that talks about like authentic beauty. And what we see here is we have some people that are more like what you would actually see day-to-day life, not just these like polished up models. And things like these can help connect with consumers. Authenticity is becoming a number one buying factor. Consumers really reject fake and scripted and like overly polished and overly done advertising. And these real stories really help motivate consumers. So for some brand examples that we have that are shaping the future, we have, first of all, the Dove campaign I just mentioned, and then the Patagonia campaign that Courtney mentioned. They're really in line with their values as a company, the sustainability and consumer awareness that they really stand for. Another one is Ben & Jerry's. They always have a really consistent brand stance on social issues, and they're not quiet about it either. It's part of the brand identity. And then we have like a new and up-and-comer, Liquid Death, which is also really in line with their brand values. They're a little more humorous and a little more radical and a little more entertaining as a brand, but all of these brands are really authentically them and trying to strive to match those values. and help consumers buy in line with their values. So transparency really is trust and is loyalty. This survey from Edmonton Trust, the Edmonton Trust Barometer, it's a survey of 16,000 people in 8 countries. It reveals that brands, typically brand trust is like a very high up metric for what people use when they're buying. It's a deal breaker or really a deciding factor when they're considering a purchase. Really only trailing a couple other metrics. So we have quality, convenience, value, and ingredients. And it's not by a long shot either. So the numbers back this up. According to 81% of these people, they want to be able to trust a brand before they buy from them. Younger generations especially want companies that stand for something. Sustainability, honesty, social responsibility. And long term, these ethical brands stay better in the spotlight. They don't have mishaps and things like that that are don't align with their brand values. They tend to last longer, both in the business world and in consumers' eyes. So what the next kind of 5 to 10 years looks like, in the future, the divide is really only going to get bigger. Transparent brands will continue to thrive, not because they're perfect, but because they're honest. Meanwhile, companies that cut corners, exaggerate claims, or greenwash, they're going to lose relevance fast. Customers now only have the power to expose dishonesty. Think about brands that have been exposed on social media platforms like TikTok and basically been taken down overnight. Ethical marketing is really becoming a business advantage. So transparent brands are going to thrive. Inauthentic brands are going to lose relevance, and brands that don't align with values are going to get exposed. It's just kind of how the world is right now. So what does that mean for future marketers? It means that the brands that will define the next decade are the ones that choose authenticity now. It means ethical marketing isn't just a moral choice anymore, it's smart business. And that really kind of leads us into our final point, how we as marketers can actually put this into action. I'll hand it over to Mackay. Thanks.
All right, my name is Mackay. My part of this presentation is the call to action of how businesses and marketers can just be more ethical. And I'm just gonna kind of just reiterate everything that's been said and just kind of tie it all together and just kind of conclude everything a little bit. So why ethical marketing even matters. I mean, we all know what marketing is. It's just getting your brand out there. It's like brand image, brand awareness, so people can get their company's business, so they can get money, so they can be able to live in this life. Because even though they say money doesn't buy happiness, we kind of need money to be able to live. So we can have a house, buy food, water, a car to travel, things like that. So we kind of need money, and we get that from businesses, jobs, whatever. So why ethical marketing matters compared to just marketing is just the intent behind it and the honesty behind it. Ethical compared to just normal marketing is it builds trust and a long-term customer loyalty. A lot of people, myself included, will kind of always go to a company that they can trust or someone that they can trust because they know they'll be able to get the best experience and something that is true, even though it may cost a little more, like with cars, like mechanics. Not a lot of people trust the big name brands because they charge a lot, and also they may not fully give a correct diagnostic because they want to just make sure they get as much money as they can, because if they accidentally fix the wrong thing, then they have to fix the right thing. So now the person has to pay for what they just did and also what was actually needing help in the first place. Where if you just went to one person up front, they may charge a little more, they may charge less, but if they were just to fix that one thing from the start, then it would save you a lot more time and money as a consumer of that company. Another way is it protects brand reputation. If a company is notorious for messing up things, then people are going to catch on to it because social media is very big. So it's very easy for word to get out to the 8 billion people that live on this world. And if people don't trust that company or know they are doing things for bad, then they're not going to go to them. And also, consumers today expect honesty and transparency, because with AI becoming a big thing now, There's going to be a lot of fake stuff. There's going to be a lot of things that people are going to say are real, but it's fake. So in this world where there's a lot of chaos and not necessarily knowing what's real or not without having to dig deeper, people are going to really rely on honesty and trust. And ethics can just be more of a competitive advantage, because that way people can, again, sound like a broken record, trust this company because they know they're doing it for the right reasons, for honest reasons, trustworthy, so they can stick with them and know they'll be able to get the best service with these specific people and whatever they need help with. How businesses can be more ethical, like it's been said hundreds of times, just be honest in your advertising and honest in your work. If I'll go back to the mechanic, if to fix your car is going to cost $800, say it's going to cost $800. Don't be like, well, it's probably going to be a couple hours of fixing it, which usually charges like $150, $200 an hour. The part's going to be like $200. So it could be anywhere from like $600 to $1,500. When realistically, you kind of already know what it's going to be and just can give them that honest thing. And just have clear communicating pricing, terms, and limitations. So just don't lie about anything, don't have anything hidden. Because if they find something hidden, then it could become something lawful. Like they could sue because you didn't tell them the correct things as a business, so then you could end up paying more money than you even received from the customer in the first place, just because you weren't honest. Because people need honesty. And just respect the customer's privacy and just data usage. Again, with AI and just things online, it's pretty easy to kind of find these information about the customer, especially with companies that may deal with a little bit more sensitive privacy, like banks or things like that, where they know more information about the customer than probably just an average person that you're walking past. You don't really know them, but the banks do, and they know a lot about their information, so just be honest and respectful about those things. Benefits of these ethical marketings is it just builds stronger customers and loyals and trust within those customers, which keeps it, again, long term. It will reduce legal and compliance risks, so you're not going to be in risk of being sued. You're not going to have to pay more to the courts to the person for being sued because you did them wrong. It'll just be more positive brand image and customer perception for your company, so it just builds a good reputation. And it's just going to be a better long-term success, because a company that may do super well now because they gyp their clients into a 10% increase payment are not going to come back to that company, so they're missing out on potential thousands of dollars in business from the same customer, when if you were just to be honest, they would come back again and again and again, so you're not missing out on potential income. So just with all of that, that is how we think ethical marketing and businesses can really improve the world and make it a better society as we live in.